horror movies are demonic.
I don't know about that. What I do know is that this intro, with its semi-opaque presenter and this massive overlay, is just an absolutely awful way to start a video. So bad that I'm pretty sure it would summon the devil to come slap the stupid out of whoever edited this damn thing. And considering the context, I feel like that's the opposite of what you wanted to happen.
Period. Case closed. End of discussion.
No, that's not how that works, mate. You can't make a claim like that and then not prove your point. You have to actually back your shit up. Unless, of course, the people who watch this don't really care to be correct. But that seems unlikely. They all appear to be big-brained smart guys. But yeah, if you say something that someone might disagree with, repeatedly stating that you aren't going to bother explaining why, not exactly convincing, mate.
But I was shocked recently to read an article in one of the most respected Christian evangelical publications.
And I was shocked recently to see you. I mean, Jesus Christ. I've never really been one to bring up how people look. I don't think it's very fair. And it generally can't be helped. But seriously, I did a video on Real Satan TM recently. And I swear if you put me in a room with you two, I'm going to go to the one that doesn't look like he's going to eat me. Look, I only say it because it's seriously so ironic that he bangs on about demons when I have literally never seen someone look quite as demonic as Bob does. And I look at myself in the mirror every morning.
The writer of this article strained to find something good to say about horror movies.
Was it a strain? Seriously, they're just movies. If they're good ones, then there are loads of good things that you can say about them. Entertaining, great premise, interesting plot, or maybe it goes into some sort of philosophical realm that really makes you think. And Mrs. Sick, as a big fan of horror, will have just put up examples of all those things. That or non-stop references to camp horror, because frankly, every single one of those movies is amazing. And yeah, they don't do anything demonic. They can't. It's just lights on a screen. Only children think that they bring forth actual monsters. Perhaps you need to grow up, Bob. Although that would make you look much older and
And he did, much to my chagrin.
Well, who is this man, woman, child, or 16th century sailing barge? Because I would love to meet them and shake their hand. Or mast, I guess. Because anyone, or anything, that can upset Bob is good people in my book, even if they are technically obsolete seafaring equipment. And even if they're Christian. Which is, of course, a much weirder thing to be making content for the internet that isn't completely fucking stupid. Not gonna lie.
I'll not cite the publication.
Fuck me, that was unnecessarily dramatic. And why not? Did you make them up? Because I wouldn't put it past you to make up a problem you think you're having and then talk about it like it actually happened and make yourself look so very smart and noble to your idiot audience. Then again, he also probably doesn't want to lead people to something that is actually putting value into the world, rather than sucking it all out like the joy vampire Bob so clearly is.
Because I've always been careful not to publicly attack another believer by name.
No, of course not. You've got to keep those attacks private and behind closed doors, preferably, with some extremely slanderous accusations that will destroy their career without being directly traceable back to you. That way, when they're defeated, you can absorb their power, Highlander style. There can be only one exploitative, ghoulish preacher type.
But this article wasn't in a small magazine or newsfeed.
Then who cares? This is a strange line to draw in the sand. When you spend so much of your time calling so many perfectly reasonable things in the world, and by extension the people who make and the people who enjoy those things, evil. But someone promoting it who just happens to be in your club is off limits? If anything, they should be more subject to your public scrutiny, not less. You want them to be better, at least from your perspective. And the only way you can do that is to let them know that you're talking to them. None of this makes any sense.
The article began by noting the rising interest in horror films.
Rising interest, is there? I mean, they've always been popular, but they don't seem any more popular than at any other given time in the history of the medium. Although I could be wrong. I could definitely see there being a bit more interest in other genres returning due to the waning interest in the old superhero action movies. Although that's less to do with them being overrepresented, which they are, but the fact that they have been churning out some dross lately. But when a good one comes out, people still are into it. But sure, okay, horror movies are getting more popular. How exactly does that make them demonic? And remember, you can't just say, 'cause they are. That's just lazy. Being lazy is my job, and I work damn hard at it, somehow.
The writer said, quote, paranormal horror manifests the unseen reality of spirits and demons beyond my control, end of quote.
After all that, me am not going to call them out. You then quote them. And this is the internet, where writing words someone said is a very easy way to find out where and why and when they said whatever it was they said. And this article is on Christianity Today. And I'm happy to say that because it's a kind of meh article with some pretty surface level observations on the horror genre. It's fine. I think it's harmless. And it's someone talking about something that they find interesting. The fact that you think that it's somehow an indefensible travesty and yet somehow don't feel the need to point out who did it is just weak and makes you sound like you're going out of your way to be really, really upset about people's words for no other reason than that's what people expect you to do.
What is he saying?
I don't really care because I'm more interested in what happened to the guy making your visuals. It looks as if they were reading the article and then were like drag clicking and then threw their mouse across the goddamn universe. And I will not abide that kind of cruelty to technology.
He's a Christian and he finds demons beyond his control. Well, maybe that's the problem right there.
Oh my bod. Oh my God, Bob. Unlike you, they are not being literal. And not to make assumptions, but I'm pretty sure Sarah is probably a she, not a he. So good job on doing the least amount of research possible, like reading an author's name. And no, the demons they are talking about is the bad thoughts kind, not the actual monsters under the bed kind, for fuck's sake.
Then he moves on to note that some Christians, quote, make compelling defenses for the genre. Close quote. Well, I'd like to meet those Christians and tell them they likely need an exorcism.
Yeah, actually addressing the defenses. That would require you to, be honest. Is there an exorcism for being a disingenuous sack of crap, Bob? Because you probably shouldn't do it if you want to continue existing, that is. And yeah, the defenses are that horror stories can help you reflect upon the shit you have pulled. And okay, but that's true of basically any good story. And I guess it means a takeaway from their point is that it's not exclusive to other genres and everything can have value as a Grimsbyan. Not a bad sentiment, really. Certainly a lot better than everything I'm evil and scary, give me $400.
But here's the kicker.
Unless it's a machine that repeatedly boots you up the backside for all eternity, I don't think anyone is interested, mate. Although I would support that GoFundMe.
The article states, quote, horror can speak to the supernatural reality of the world, demonstrate the power to overcome evil, and become an evangelistic tool to reach unbelievers, close quote. Well, I want to ask, what planet is this guy living on?
Yeah, not gonna lie, they did kind of lose me there, but I don't really care. If they can find a way to enjoy things that honestly don't actually seem to conflict with their faith and see it as a good thing, despite what alarmist dipshits have told them all their lives, all the better. But seriously, is that your entire rebuke to the idea? You can't use horror movies to do that because I said so. For fuck's sake, I would argue an intrinsic aspect of the Bible is horror, horrifying its readers into behaving for whichever action is wanted. So to act as if the concept of horror is evil in and of itself, well, I do have a hideously demonic book for you. You might have heard of it.
And then he adds that a potential benefit of horror is to help us discern what is truly good and evil.
They never made a horror movie about the internet exorcist who charges obscene amounts of money to pretend to help the desperate and the stupid while only truly helping himself to their bank balance. So obviously wrong on that one, eh?
The article goes on to offer intellectual arguments.
I wouldn't exactly call it intellectual, but arguments sure. Although it's weird that you aren't going to address them and only talk about tiny, very specific bits while saying, nuh-uh. It's almost like you don't actually have anything of value to say, and God forbid the poor schlubs who watch you hear something that they don't agree with but is somehow potentially convincing to them. no, can't have that, they might stop buying into your shit. And, buying your shit.
In an apologetic role as a defender of God working through horror films.
Oh, I am so pissed at you right now, Bob. I read that article multiple times at this point because of you and your bullshit. And not once did they say God was working through the horror films. And look, I really don't want to be sitting here and defending one apologist against another. You're both wrong, but it's a matter of degrees, and more than anything, harm. And you making shit up about someone who clearly is interested in making Christianity better, if only by making it slightly less obnoxious, you are easily the more harmful one, and that's before we remember that you're an utter charlatan.
Well, I'm here to say...
Something stupid?
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, if it's about you, I guess stopped clocks being right twice a day and all that jazz.
Whatever happened to 1 Thessalonians 5:22? Abstain from every form of evil.
Oh look, horror movies are evil. Forget the fact that they are literally fiction. And again, if horrifying acts are what you consider evil, the Bible is chock full of terrible, heinous acts. Are you supposed to not read those bits? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me Christians finding any excuse possible not to actually read the fucking thing. I swear it is the fastest way to turn someone into an atheist.
You might think.
Unless, of course, you are Bob Larson, where that step is completely optional.
That would include the horror in Netflix's Wednesday series.
Are you fucking kidding me? Wednesday? I didn't even consider that show to be horror. It's like horror light at best. Addams Family stuff always has been. If anything, it was dark comedy more than anything else. Christ, talk about selling yourself short with softballs. I mean, I guess it's because of the article, but I expected light stuff from them. But you sitting here banging on about fucking evil with a capital E, I expected a lot more. But then again, this is Bob Larson, and high expectations should not apply.
Featuring an actress who gets even by putting live piranhas into a swimming pool.
I'm sorry, she put what in a swimming pool?
Piranhas.
The is a piranha. What are you, Benedict Cumberwumbles and his inability to say penlins? Well, unfortunately for you, he's like a decent actor with charisma and all that other shit you probably count as demonic too. I mean, he does play a magic man with a strange name. Also, got to point out the hypocrisy of Bob telling us not to be anywhere near evil and then showing us the evil that he says is evil and we shouldn't even look at in his fucking video. It's almost like he doesn't actually believe the things he says. That Horry knows it will traumatize his audience and they'll just come to him to fix the problem that he caused. And isn't that just religious boys all over?
Or the demonic savagery of Tim Burton's Edward Scissorhands and...
Holy shit, you are such a clown. And I do mean one of the really fucking scary ones, but a clown nonetheless. I mean, all this horror and evil and you pick fucking Edward Scissorhands? I'm sorry, Scissors Hands. Obviously, we have to defer to the fucking expert up in here, idiot. Just proving that actually having literally no idea about fucking anything in the world whatsoever. It's not a horror movie, like at all. It's a gothic themed fish out of water story, presenting ideas like accepting someone for who they are. I mean, of course you would hate that. Christianity fucking invented praying the gay away after all. And another message is one that you are just the antithesis to, which is don't judge someone by how they look. But in your case, I'm pretty sure you would lose a seems like a nice guy contest to Jeffrey fucking Dahmer.
What about Philippians 4:8?
What about it, Bob? What about Gringleflark X7? I can make up Bible passages too. Wait, that one's real? But what the hell is a Philippian? Sounds like some kind of super dolphin. Yes, I am very ignorant. Why do you ask?
Where Paul commands us to meditate on things which are true, noble, just, pure, lovely, and of a good report.
So, not anything in the Bible then? I mean, he's just setting me up for that one. For starts, true, no. Noble, just, I don't even think they know what justice is. Pure bullshit maybe. Lovely, I've seen lovelier cowpats, and of good report, just no.
Well, try doing that while watching Psycho, Halloween, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Scream 1, 2, 3, and 4.
The first things you brought up aren't even in the same genre as any of those. But I sincerely doubt that you would know that. And that's the problem, Bob. You did the same thing when you talked about video games. You said things about them that didn't make sense because you don't know anything about them. Because you don't engage with any of these things. And then you probably wonder why people make fun of you for saying such egregiously stupid shit.
And if you want my opinion as an exorcist,
I don't want your opinion as anything. I just want you to shut the fuck up about things that you don't understand. But you won't. So I have to come along on a semi-regular basis, listen to you, say stupid stuff, and then point out how everything you say is wrong, stupid, and doesn't make any sense, usually all of those at the same time.
I can speak from ministry experience that an unsuspecting individual can get demons from watching terrifying flicks.
If that is the case, then anyone who's ever watched one of your videos has about 6 billion of the fuckers already. It's already too late for them. Might as well just go watch some fun movies and play some video games. Actually, fucking enjoy life, instead of spending their lives terrified of the boogeyman. Yeah?
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstar Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the